I've been in the field of chiropractic now for about 55 years. And of course, my children, being a lot younger than I am, they were raised strictly in the chiropractic field. And I can think back one time when my daughter was 2 years old and my son was 1 year old, she put her hands in the crib and tried to adjust my son. So consequently, they were well endowed in the field of chiropractic and the importance of the brainstem. I remember one time, my daughter loved animals. We always had animals. So one time a bird hit our window and was unconscious. She took a ballpoint pen and tried to adjust the atlas of the bird. She loved animals, and knowing the field of chiropractic, she wanted to do whatever she could for animals other than when she seen how they took care of animals with shots and what have you. She didn't like that idea. So she originally, I think her original idea was get in the field of chiropractic so she could actually eventually take care of animals using the natural way.
Something has changed, yes.
Okay, what do you think has changed already?
I definitely see more flexibility in the bird. It's like you said, there's some atrophied muscles.
Yeah.
And you're not going to just disappear.
And her head
the
is
movement.
tilted.
Yeah, she has a little, it's like canted to the side, like the
I feel better
with the shoulder.
Does that feel better?
Yes.
No, she just turned her head severely to the left. That looked like pretty good range of motion.
It did.
Yes.
Was that better than normal?
Better, yes.
You got a pretty good grip in your right foot right now, too.
Cool.
What does it normally feel like?
Usually she doesn't have much grip in it at all. You want my hand?
It's more that you're holding on to her foot.
Yeah. So you feel like she's gripping
A
harder?
little bit better, yes.
Good, all
This is a
right.
happier looking bird.
Yeah.
mean,
We'll bring
she's
it
very
back in a
sweet.
month. Yeah. Get you another adjustment.
I have seen her perform miracles, like instantaneously.
It's totally better.
Yeah.
They're doing amazing.
Wow!
Yeah.
This is spiritual.
Amazing, because I thought she was never gonna have a normal back again.
I noticed like a greater ease, like the animal is more at ease, more comfortable.
My dog was the kind of dog that if you just barely tapped her hips, she would just topple over. She had nothing, and she was atrophied in her back legs. So they were little sticks, and that her front end, she was pulling herself along by her front end. So Sherry adjusted her, and then after she adjusted her, my dog Sissy just immediately put all of her weight on her back hind left and scratched her stomach with her. Like she suddenly had access to her hind end, which she had never had before.
I went to Palmer College of Chiropractic to become a chiropractor, and near the end of the 4 years, I went jogging to Vanderveer Park, and I was thinking about my life because I was near graduation. And what happens is I see a paralyzed squirrel right next to me, and all I could do is turn its head left and right. And so I got all excited, and the average person probably would have said, I have to take this squirrel to a veterinarian. I said, I have to take this squirrel to Palmer College of Chiropractic and get it x-rayed to figure out its misalignment. So I jogged 3.5 miles back to my apartment, got my roommate. We drove back, and he was just like there. That's all he could do. We felt up his spine, and what I felt was this first vertebra was really misaligned because obviously the squirrel fell out of the tree and gave itself a really bad whiplash, and so it was really twisted. And brave me, I will have to say, I used my roommate's finger. I said, feel this, feel this. So she put her finger there, and I used her finger, and we pushed the vertebra back, and within 15 minutes the squirrel went up the tree. It was kind of like a reminder to say, Sherry, remember why you're becoming a chiropractor. You want to help animals.
My dog has a little back injury. It was about 4 or 5 years ago, and we were moving, and the van, she was in the cab with me, and the van pulled up. I got out with the movers and left the door open, and so she jumped down, and after that she was hurt very badly. Couldn't walk or move at all for a week. Now she's up and walking. Last week she was falling all the time. And if I just barely touched her, she'd scream.
Hi. Hi, Bijou. Are you a sweet spirit?
Oh, she is. She's an angel dog.
All right, so she's got right head low, right eye low. So her skull is going down into the right side of the spinal cord. Hold, honey. Okay, yeah, she's really jammed.
Is she?
Okay. So she's got what they call double compression of the head going down on the right side of the spinal cord, affecting the nerve tract for the position sense of the right rear leg. And the atlas, the first vertebra, is jammed completely on the left side, and that's going to make her left rear weak. There's a lot of heat here. I'm going to do what they call CP reflex, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right, so she didn't know her foot was upside down for the count of 18.
Oh,
I have a feeling the right one's going to be worse. 1. So if I put it there, see how it just keeps on moving?
And on the slippery floor, that's what makes her slip.
Yeah. So hold on. I feel her right hip is high. Sacrum's high, so it's twisted like this.
Oh my goodness.
And then I bet at the last rib it's going to be sore. It's right there and it's roached. So she got uncomfortable there.
Good girl, Bijou. Good girl.
Hi, sweetie.
Good, sweetie.
Then she's dipping down here.
Oh my.
She really doesn't want to extend that arm.
No.
Let me see this one. Really doesn't want to extend that one either.
She's really out, huh?
Yeah. Let's fix it. Can I adjust you? This is gonna feel so good. Yeah. Hey, sweetie. And because the back of the skull is so round, it moves fast. All I have to do is give it a little momentum to move. Now let's see. Did I do that? Oh, how about that? I did it. Okay. So I just got the vestibular apparatus balanced.
Goodness.
And talks to the cerebellum, so she's already going to have better balance and coordination. So now, in order for her head to stay in balance, the atlas has to be right underneath the skull.
Okay.
And that's what I'm going to do next. How about this?
Oh my gosh.
Now, often, right after the adjustment, she can do a big yawn. Can you? Because this also gets rid of stress in very deep places in the body.
Oh, good.
And also, whenever there's head tilt, it pulls the vagus nerve that goes to all internal organs except for the adrenal glands.
Right.
So this is going to be a great tune-up for the body.
Oh, wow. How about that, Bijou?
Now, she's smiling.
She is smiling.
Hi, you.
How about that, darling? Look at you.
Well, look at her face. She's relaxed. There's no stress or strain, and she's calm. So remember, this turned over for the count of 18.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, okay.
Oh, right away.
Right away.
Oh my gosh.
Perfect.
Holy cow.
And this one. See
Right
how
away.
she's putting her leg down now? You can hear it.
Yeah.
And you can hear it.
Oh, you're going to dance, honey.
Yeah, she was
Well, you know, when she's feeling well, she acts like a puppy. She does not act like a 12-year-old.
A lot of heat coming off her spine.
Yes.
This isn't roached anymore. And the pelvis dropped down on the right, and so the sacrum. And I'm checking the toes.
And
That's a
she
great
can extend her
extension.
feet and her arms in the front?
Yep.
She wouldn't do that before at all. You couldn't brush them because she would go like this. And the groomer said she bit her once.
Oh, I believe it. Well, she was so tight because she couldn't put her weight down in her rear end, so it goes forward.
Okay. I'm just so, I wish I had known about this before. I feel really guilty.
Well, you know, we got it taken care of now.
You're better, huh? I'm okay, sweetie. I'm not. I just feel it. You don't worry about
There's
me.
some Kleenex to the right.
Yeah. I'm fine, darling. Don't worry about me. I just was feeling guilty there for a second. Wow. Because she was really always acting like something was wrong. She is calmer. Are you better, darling? Yes, you are.
Worked with Sherry for over 13 years when I first called her to treat my dog who had a torn cruciate ligament. And she had just moved here from Chicago. Her work is key to my work because if I can't get the dog to have a clearer pathway in his nervous system, it is not as easy to get homeopathy to work, bioresonance therapy. Any treatments I'm doing are all going to be stymied by not having a clear pathway. Bioresonance therapy was developed over 30 years ago in Germany. And it's actually a machine that works on frequency. And so we read frequencies from the animal to get an idea of what's going on. There's been 500 programs put into the machine that shows a normal frequency for kidney, what would be a normal frequency for liver, for spine block, for scar tissue, 500 different programs. It's interesting being that Sherry has also has one of the machines and has experienced it. We can be in the room together, test an animal for what's called spine block, which means we don't have good frequency and we have a blockage through the pathways. I can test it, find spine block, have Sherry adjust the animal, retest it immediately, and 100% of the time we have had no more spine block.
I read this piece about Charlie the Buffalo, Charlie Goodnight, owned by Verrill Goodnight and Roger Brooks. And he didn't even know he was a buffalo, because when they got him he was 6 days old, and he was used as a baby buffalo to make a sculpture. And he, at 400 pounds, ran into a steel post and had then, it's called flaccid paralysis, just like the squirrel. Couldn't get up, he didn't have any motor capacity. So I called Colorado State University, got some buffalo anatomy pictures so I could understand what was the angle of the skull. What did the first vertebra look like? And I studied that. And Charlie the Buffalo, who was basically a three-legged buffalo, he couldn't use his right rear leg well to push off because he was misaligned after hitting the steel post. Dr. Gretchen Yost, she was the veterinarian with me, and basically you either had to give Charlie a carrot to eat or a crotch to smell, and he would keep his head straight. So Gretchen was a great helper in both departments, and she was okay with that, and so was Charlie. So I'm standing on an ice chest adjusting him while he's smelling a carrot, and just he would keep his head straight, and then I would get my hand in there on his atlas vertebra and give it momentum to move. I adjusted him, and in the end, he was able to walk straight versus just being able to walk on or run on a 45-degree angle. He was able to toss up a 500-pound tire and also start on hikes back with the owner.
Joseph got attacked by an owl, and he got picked up and dropped, and we could see the talon marks all over his body, like it was whoosh. And he's 15. I knew he was out of adjustment. He had goop coming out of his eyes. He was real tipsy when he walked. He got really thin. His fur was just, his fur looked like a cat that was dying. And I brought him in to see Sherry, and the very first time I brought him in, she adjusted his neck. The goop stopped coming out of his eyes, because it was thick stuff coming out of his eyes. And then his fur cleaned up, and then he was happy, and then he decided he is going to be really vital and sexy like Viggo Mortensen for a whole bunch more years. So I'm going to keep you standing right here so Sherry can look at your eyes.
All right, let me look at you. Let me look. And often the eye that's low can be smaller because the vestibular apparatus controls all the eye muscles.
I know.
So the eye that's low often is also a smaller size. The atlas is going off to the right, and it's affecting the left side of the spinal cord, affecting again the nerve tract that gives the brain its position sense. So his left leg is going to be affected.
You're being so helpful.
Okay.
Thank you,
Joseph.
You're being so helpful. Yes,
See how slow that was? Okay, so
you're being your movie
when you
star.
understand the brainstem, you can predict what's going to show up in the back end. And he's going to have trigger points up his spine. Let's find out where they are. Hi, Joseph. So right there it starts. I can feel the muscles get tight, and he
And you see the fur flinch.
yeah. Joseph, can I adjust you?
It just pinches a little
Can I
bit.
adjust you? And he puts up with it. Yeah, a little bit more. I can still feel some muscle tightness.
Good job, sir.
The hummingbird was the hardest for me to figure out. To get that one little vertebra.
Good job, Joe.
So I heard that hummingbirds have the brain size of a piece of rice. Isn't that amazing?
Wow. That's actually how I heard about you. When I heard about you, when I was in Farmington, they said you adjusted a hummingbird. That was the first story I heard about you before I met you. Isn't that interesting that you just brought that up?
Okay, let's see if we got it, okay? Can you check? Oh, his eyes opened already. Okay, you can see. All right, let's check these back legs. Okay, good.
Good, Joseph.
I know.
And then I just double check everything.
You're a very independent guy.
Okay,
Good.
is he gets really weak in his hind end, so that if I go to pet him and he's, I go to pet him, when I touch him here, when he's out of adjustment, he'll just kind of tip over and lose his balance. He'll catch himself, but his hind end becomes so weak that when I just go to pet him right here, he'll lose his balance and kind of falter.
Just go over.
But when he's in adjustment, that doesn't happen. So you can imagine on an older animal, if they're out of adjustment, how their whole immune system goes down really, really hard and fast. So to me, chiropractic is the only thing at the base of keeping older animals alive.
You can already see he's more vibrant. He's like moving around, his eyes are level. He's like,
those are good. Get some of those.
oh, okay. That's cool. And this particular golden eagle hit a windshield, and he was at the wildlife center because he had two things going on. One leg couldn't extend, so it was contracted, and then the other one, the good leg, the claws, his talons wouldn't open up. They were contracted. So they asked me to come and figure the misalignment, so the abnormal contracture of the talons and of the leg could relax. So I looked at the eagle's head tilt, and I felt his little vertebra and figured it out and adjusted him with great gentleness.
This guy has, he's got Cushing's disease, which is an adrenal gland disorder. But he's doing really well on the Cushing's medication, but a couple of weeks ago when we went to check out his Cushing's, he jumped out of the car and hurt his back. He needs some relief.
Okay. Okay.
He's also very anxious, as you can see. See, he's losing, his muscles are atrophying from the Cushing's, and so he's really trembling. It's hard for him to stand up. Yeah, it's hard for him to be on his feet for real long unless he's moving. So, ever since he did that jump, he has been going down, real regularly every third or fourth step.
All right, so I'm going to look at how his head's sitting first.
Okay.
All right, he's got massive head tilt, means that his skull is going into the spinal cord on the right side.
Okay.
This is probably twice the normal that I see. For the amount of arthritis that he has in his last lumbar vertebra and the sacrum, tells me he's been out of alignment for a long time. Because calcium will go to the ligaments to give it more support. So he's been out of alignment probably, unless he's had a injury down in right at that spot, and you only got him 3 years ago, so we really don't know.
Now, a friend of his previous owner told me that he leapt out of a moving truck at about 40 miles an hour once when he was 2 or 3 years old.
That can
maybe.
do it. So I'm going to support his body.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to pick up this right rear, and we're going to see what it does. So it's kind of, doesn't feel normal to me.
It's real loose, isn't it?
Yeah, 1, 2, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay,
His muscles are atrophied from
lot of
the
atrophy.
And that's evidently a result of the Cushing's.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Why do more? We get it.
Yeah, he doesn't straighten that one up.
So he's got atrophy. It feels like all the way up his spine, and he's not muscular.
Let me just hold his head for you.
Okay, I can't even lift up the right front. Okay. Now if I lift up this one. Okay, that's pretty heavy too. So his body weight's not here. In order for him to stand up, it's all here. And that's why he can't even lift up his head and neck, because everything is so tight. How could he be flexible?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to adjust him.
Okay.
I'm going to get his head on straight first, because he's like this.
Right. Oh, and I've got that same condition. I know how it hurts.
Okay. Well, sorry I only do four-leggeds now.
Okay.
I normally don't see dogs this misaligned, but with the traumas that you told me about, totally makes sense to me.
Okay.
Because one trauma just builds on the next.
Right.
Hi, sweetie. Hi. 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 How you doing? How you doing, Will? Let me look at you. We're getting there.
Yeah, and he used to swim. My husband used to take him to the ski valley in the summer when he was working up there, and he'd go for a swim every day. And he quit doing that last summer.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just flicking the atlas underneath the skull.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, that was good. For him just to move like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. So you'll start seeing more of that because I'm getting the nerve tracts to work for his back legs, and it's going to allow his body weight to come this way.
Okay.
And so it's going to loosen up his head and neck area.
Okay.
We're getting it. Good boy. Good boy.
Well, he seems good. He seems steadier back here. He's not trembling back here.
Uh-huh. Is that a change already?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, good.
Yeah, when I brought him in here, he could barely stand because his back end was vibrating so.
To change his life here. But it'll just be the beginning. Look at him, how easy it was for him to turn his head when he wanted to.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, sweet
He's
pea.
holding it higher. Oh, he's definitely holding it higher.
Okay, you ready, sweetie? Here we go. 1, 2. All right. I'm going to accept that for what it is right now.
Okay.
Because it's working. It just needs movement.
Okay.
Okay, but
And
this
can
is
I
like...
do what you're doing?
I mean, look at that. So we can do this one now. 1, 2. Okay. Okay, look. See, this is called 4 square. His back legs are level. See, he put them there back level, and his front feet are level. He is balancing his body weight now.
Yeah, yeah.
But his muscles are thin.
Yeah.
If we have the chance, it takes 4 to 6 months for these muscles to rebuild.
Come on. Come this way. There we go.
Okay, get in front of him.
There we go. You are walking good. On this slick floor.
I've adjusted hummingbirds to porcupines, even to the buffalo and horses. All I can say is if there's a will, there's a way to adjust some of these guys.